Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So guys, like today I'm really sad. Like I'm not like in my best mood because I had some really bad experiences like at an interview yesterday, because I'm filming this video the day after, the morning after. So depending on when you post, I'll post the video. Maybe it's not going to be so much of yesterday. So guys, this is for college students because I'm a college student, and that was probably like my third interview, job interview. So like if you're a college student, please watch this till the end, because this is going to help you to not make some mistakes I did and to go into an interview prepared. Okay, so if you want to have all those tips, make sure you watch till the end, and this is going to be a little story time of the experience I had yesterday. So guys, if you're new to my channel and you love this sort of videos, because I do pranks, challenges and story time videos, just everything fun. So if you love this sort of videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and put on your notification bell so you don't miss any more videos that I post. So guys, maybe like a month ago I saw a job offer on LinkedIn. Like if you're a college student and you don't know LinkedIn, then I strongly advise you to go download the LinkedIn app. It's a social media app, but more for professionals. There you'll meet companies and hiring managers, general directors, and just like everybody there is professional, and you could probably get your next internship, your next job from a connection that you made there. So make sure all college students or all job seekers, you go check out LinkedIn, you download the app, and it's pretty easy to use. It's just like any other social media like Facebook. You connect with people, and that's that. So guys, like I was saying, I saw a post, like a job offer from one company. I'm not going to say the name, but from one company on LinkedIn. It was for the position of a digital marketing intern. So honestly, it's not so much in my study field. I do finance in school, but given that I love so much digital, everything that has to do with like the digital phase, like social media, and I did a little bit of marketing at school. Like my first years, I did a little bit of marketing, so I thought it was like something that I could do, because on the position, like they were asking for a college student who is at level 2, and I'm at like my fourth year in college. So I was like, okay, at least even if it's not my field, but I think I'll be more qualified than a college student who's in year 2, given that I'm in year 4. So I was like, okay, and it's also good to like have experiences from other things, even if they're not related to your field, because it might help you someday. So I applied for the position, and a week later or so, or maybe 2 max, I was called for the written test. I was called and they did a little bit of an interview over the phone. They asked me like, what is digital marketing? Because on my CV I had written marketing, given that I had did a little bit of marketing in school during my early years, like my first year, my second year, did a little bit of marketing. So on my CV I put it instead marketing. So when they called me, there was like, on your CV we're seeing like marketing. So what is digital marketing to you? Because we're looking for a position of a digital marketing intern. So I said what I could, and there was like, okay. So they dropped the phone, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my god, I just messed this up, because I was not prepared for them to like give me a little question over the phone. Like you could just imagine going about your day and you receive a phone call that like it's for you apply for a digital marketing position, blah blah blah. You think that maybe they want to call you for an interview or call you to start something, but they're like, can we ask you a question now? Can we like interview you over the phone? And I was like, well, you can't say no, because it's going to present like not so good. So I was like, yes, no problem. And then they asked me that question. So like, I won't lie, I was not really prepared. And what I said after the call, I was not really convinced of what I said. Like I was like, nah, like I'm not sure after what I said they're going to call me back. But a couple of days after, they called me to come and do a written test at their office. So I went there, but this time, like I did all my research on digital marketing. Like I was 100% prepared for the written test. I watched videos on YouTube, checked out Google, and like just everything I could find, and make sure I did my research. So I went there. The test was like, I won't say very easy, but based on the research I did, like many things came that I knew of. So I wrote the test very well. And after like the day of the test, like 1 week later, they called me to come to their office again for another interview. I was like, okay, another interview after the one on the phone. So I tried again to prepare, like what videos on YouTube on an interview, how to what sort of questions to expect during an interview and all of that. So I was like really prepared. So I went there and I did the interview. During the interview, they just like asked me like present yourself and tell us what in what way you're going to add value to our company. So I answered, and they were pretty convinced with my answer from their faces. Like, I started talking, and once I like finished the sentence, I was about to start another one, and they were like, "Okay, okay, it's good, that's fine." So when I was leaving, like, I was kind of scared that the way I was cut off, maybe there was something that I said that wasn't really like pleasing to them. Like, maybe what I was saying wasn't like good to hear. I don't know. I just felt like I was just cut off like that, and maybe I said something wrong. But on the other side, I was like thinking that maybe what I was saying, they were so convinced and they didn't like see any need for me to push forward because what I had already said was enough. So like they told me to like it's okay, like it's fine, you could go now. So while I was leaving, but first when I entered into the office, like the director, the marketing director, and some other employee, I don't know, were there to interview me. So when I entered and I was asked to have a seat on the table, I could see my paper like where I wrote the written test, and I could see I had 32 on 40. So from there, like that boosted me. I was like, wow, like I had that mark, given that it's not even my field. So like I must be pretty, like I know something. So they asked me the question when I was done answering the questions, and they were like, okay, you could go now. While I was leaving, I heard the marketing director say that, well, I think like from what she said, it was good. And then he was like, what was her mark? And the other person, because my exam paper was in front of the other um person in the interview. So the marketing director asked the person that what is her mark, and he said 32. So from there, like when I was going, I was like having a good feeling. Well, it was a bit of both because the way I was cut off, I was like maybe they weren't too impressed, and on the other side, when I was leaving, he sounded impressed, and plus the fact that I had a high mark, he was like really convinced, and I was so happy because compared to some other person during the interview, he had 29. I was like, okay, like from both of us, I have like the higher mark because I know this because um after that interview we exchanged numbers just to keep in touch and know if they call somebody, like the person could tell the other that okay I've been called, and if the other is not called, you just know that okay it's the end, just to like keep in touch and update each other on like if you're called for the position. So after we got each other number, that was when like he told me he had 29 and all of that. So I went back home, and a week later again they called me for um to come and take an interview with the general director of the company now. So that was yesterday. No, that was the day before yesterday. So I'm talking these days based on when I'm filming this video, not so much on when I post it. So given that I did the interview yesterday, so they called me the day before yesterday that I was going to do the interview with the general director yesterday. So at this point I was like scared because I was like with the general director. So like I had a little bit of pressure on me. I was like I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, what does the general director want to know? What sort of questions is he going to ask? And I was like, so I was in panic, in short. So I was so confused, and the process was really getting into me. Like first an interview on the phone, then you have to go and write a written exam, then you have to come for an interview with the general director, with the marketing director, then an interview with the general director. Like I was like, this is so much. And given that on the post they said it's an internship, I was like, so is all this procedure just for an internship? It's not like it's a job. So guys, this is where it all, like the main part of my story is about, because I was really broken yesterday when I got back from the interview. Like I didn't even call my dad or my boyfriend to tell them about how the interview went because I was just so sad. I just got home, I didn't even eat, I just laid on my bed and slept, listening to some soothing music, and I slept because the turnout, the how the interview turned out, I wasn't so happy, and I didn't expect it to go in that direction. So just listen and you understand why I'm saying that. So we went for the interview. I went into his office. He asked me to sit down and all and not. So he was just like, this interview, that we shouldn't really take it as an interview. It's just for him to know our personalities, know our views on certain aspects of life, how we see the world, how we see things. Like he wants us to show him how we see the world through our own glasses, like not what people think, but how we see things for ourselves, just to judge our personality and things like that. So I started talking. We went to like the religious aspect, like that I'm a Christian, and then we talk a little bit about that, the church I attend and all of that. So the interview went pretty much well. I'm not going to get so much into what was said because I think it's going to make the video really long, too long. But if you all want like the details on the interview questions, what I said, how it went, like the answers I gave from the beginning to like final interview, or should let me know, and I'll film a different video. But for this one, I just wanted to concentrate on another aspect and not so much on the interview questions and the answers I gave. So the interview went pretty well. He said he was like impressed with some of my views on life on certain subjects and how I saw things. So he was pretty much very impressed. But at one point of the interview, he asked like, I see in your CV that you are a student. I say yes, I'm in my 4th year and I'll be like finishing my masters next year. And he was like, so you're doing your masters and you're coming to apply for this position? And I'm like, yeah, like I do just 4 hours of classes a day. And he was like, is it evening? I said like, not so much of evening, because my classes are from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So he was like, and you came for this job? I was like, everything is about negotiation. Like in my school, you have the opportunity that if you have a job, you could come and tell the school administration and they could figure something out for you. And if my employer is willing to give me that flexibility, then I think it could really work out. So I answered that and he was like, okay. So that was like at some point during the interview. So we passed that and continued the interview normally. So at the end now, when he was telling me that he was like convinced with most of my ideology on certain aspects on how I see things, how I see life. So, but at the end, he now said, but we don't really hire students. We cannot be hiring students when there are many unemployed people out there. At this point, guys, I was like, really? So this was like a really the end. He was already up, like I was about to go because there was another person outside waiting for an interview, and we had been like for more than an hour, 30 minutes just discussing, because he said it's not really an interview, it's more like a discussion. So like we're discussing about many topics and other things, and he was telling me about himself and the same way he was getting to know me, my personality and all of that. So it was like an over an hour and 30 minutes conversation. So given that he said that during the end, I was like in shock. I was going to like continue the interview and ask him like, what is the basis for him to say that they prefer to take someone who is unemployed out there rather than someone who is still going to school like me, and given that I'll be finishing next year. But like I said, it was really getting late and there was another person to enter for an interview, so I just went back home. Like all through the way from their office to my room, I was like thinking so many things. I was like, so I'm just going to like, or I'm already out of the race just because I'm a student. Like they're not even going to consider me, or they're not even going to like weigh how my, I don't know, my competencies compared to the others. I'm not even going to do any of that. I'm already out of the race just because I'm a student. So that really got me thinking. I was like really sad that I just lost the job just because I'm a student. Like, does that even make sense to any of you all? So I got home like, and I had so many questions. So I had planned I was going to like text him, the general manager, but I don't have his number. And before the interview, I had sent him a connect on LinkedIn, but it was still pending. So I decided to go on Facebook, like make a Facebook page and all of that, because I'm not so much on Facebook. The Facebook account that I had was like an account on a product I was selling. So I had to go and modify some things just so he knows it's me. I had to go change the profile picture and the cover picture, because the profile picture and the cover picture were like the products I was like selling on Facebook. So I had to go change some things because I myself, I don't have a Facebook page. So I had to go change some things on that page just so he knows it's me. So I wrote him like a pretty long message. Like I'm going to have them maybe here when I'll be editing. You guys are going to see. So basically the message, I was just like telling him that I didn't really get why he would choose an unemployed person. Like, on what basis will he prefer someone who is unemployed than me? Because I was like, if it's in terms, if he's thinking that maybe like people who are unemployed, maybe they need more finances. Like, there are some people out there who are unemployed, but maybe they're even more financially stable than some unemployed people. It could be maybe because they're from rich families, so the fact that they are unemployed does not really impact their finances. And if he also thinks that someone who is unemployed because they're done with school is more qualified than me, it's not always the case. Like, I could be more qualified than most of those people out there, and the proof is I got to this stage meeting you. Meanwhile, some unemployed people, like you say, didn't even get to this point. So like, obviously there's something in me, or there's something that I could bring to your company and that you guys are seeing. That's why I've got to this stage. So I'm just going to put the the messages I sent somewhere here, and you're going to read it for yourself. So at the end, he replied. He said something like, he's really happy with, he's convinced of some of my views and values, like something like that. You're going to see it on the screen. He's convinced with some of my values, but the position requires 10 to 14 hours of work, and for someone who is schooling, it's not going to be adapted well. Something like that, guys. And that if there's another position, like he's going to call me and all of that. At this point, guys, I was just like, okay, thank you, sir, and that's that. But it really got to me because it's not the first time I'm losing an opportunity because I'm a student. So finally, I'm like, okay, should I just stop school and start looking for a job, or what do they really want? So like it got me thinking about so many things. Like we all go to school to be able to get knowledge, apply for jobs, and be taken it. So like start making your life and start earning money. Like then when I am losing opportunities just because I'm still a student, and there's no guarantee that when I finish school I'll be taken. Like what do they really want from us? So I was like so sad yesterday, and it's when I got up this morning actually that I saw his reply. And like I said, it's not the first time. Like there was one other job I was applying for, and during the interview, the woman, like, she just told me that she doesn't think I'll be able to manage school and the job. That they've had so many students who always say no, I'll be able to manage it too. And when like they have exams or classes, they're always coming to take permission and all of that. So like all these experiences, losing job opportunities just because I'm a student, like it really got to me. So I don't know, I just wanted to talk to you guys just to, like, I don't know if it was vent out, but because I haven't told anybody yet. Everybody who knew I was going for that interview, I've not called them to give them the feedback of how it went or whatsoever. I'm just really broken, but I just need to talk to somebody first. So yeah, and I feel so relieved after talking to you guys. Have you ever been refused a job just because you're a student? Because like from all indications, he was like really happy with me. He thinks I'm qualified. He thinks like I'm among the best, like he said in his message, but he just don't want to take me because I'm a college student. Like, who does that? So you all should tell me if you've ever felt like you were not given a job just because you're still going to college or whatsoever. Because like maybe you could just help me understand more. Or why do you think like he prefers someone who is unemployed out there than me? So like I'm sorry guys, but this video was mostly about me just venting or just telling you my horrible experience, and I'm sorry maybe it's not what you expected, but it just really helped me to like just forget about it and just move on. So thank you all for watching, and I actually have a video on a story time on how I almost lost my dad, how my dad almost died in December of last year. So I'll be posting that very soon, very soon. So make sure your post notifications are turned on and you're subscribed, okay? And don't forget to like this video and comment anything, guys, like the next video you want to see, or how your experiences as a college student looking for a job have been. And yeah, let's get interacting in the comment section. I love you all. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.